I thought she was just my caretaker, until the alien nurse confessed what they've been hiding. The first thing I remembered after the explosion was the color white. Blinding, sterile white, walls, ceiling, even the faint glow behind my eyelids. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't on Earth anymore. The air smelled faintly metallic, the hum of unfamiliar machinery vibrated beneath the bed, and a soft mechanical chime pulsed in the distance like a heartbeat. A figure stood beside me, her silhouette bathed in pale blue light. She wore a long silver garment that shimmered with each movement. Her face was mostly human, too human, except for her eyes which reflected light like liquid glass. "You are awake," she said softly, her voice melodic yet oddly layered, like two tones speaking at once. "You've been in recovery for 6 cycles. Where am I?" My throat burned as I tried to speak. "You are safe," she said simply, pressing a warm hand against my forehead. "Rest. The doctor will come soon." But the doctor never came. Days passed, at least I think they were days, and she was the only one I saw. Her name was Lira. She said she was my caretaker, assigned to oversee my recovery after the incident. What that incident was, she wouldn't say. At first, I didn't question it. My body was weak. Pain throbbed in my chest every time I breathed. Lira fed me strange, glowing liquids that dulled the ache. Sometimes I'd catch her watching me with an expression I couldn't read, something like guilt. By the 3rd cycle, I began to notice the inconsistencies. The windows didn't open to the outside. Instead, they showed projections of artificial skies that flickered slightly every few minutes. The food trays never entered through a door. They seemed to slide out of the wall itself. And the doctor she mentioned never arrived. One night, when Lira thought I was asleep, I heard her whispering into a small device. "He's recovering faster than expected," she murmured. "No, he doesn't know. His memories are still fragmented." Yes, I'll keep it that way. I should have confronted her, but something in her voice, desperation, made me hesitate. Weeks passed. My strength returned, and so did flashes of memory. I remembered the ship, the explosion, the crew screaming over the intercom. Then darkness. When I finally asked about it, Lira froze. "You shouldn't remember that," she whispered. "Why not?" "Because it means the suppression isn't working." "Suppression? What the hell are you talking about?" She stepped back, her luminous eyes darting toward the wall as if it might be listening. "You weren't supposed to wake yet. Please don't ask more." But I couldn't stop. That night I feigned sleep again. I waited until her breathing slowed, then slipped out of bed. The floor was warm, pulsing faintly beneath my feet. The corridor outside was dim, lined with softly glowing symbols I couldn't read. Halfway down the hall, I found a chamber filled with floating spheres, each projecting holographic images of different humans, sleeping unconscious, suspended in pale blue light. Dozens of them. I felt my stomach twist. "Those are patients," Lira said behind me. I spun around. She stood in the doorway, her expression unreadable. "Patients?" I demanded. "They look like prisoners." She closed her eyes briefly. "You don't understand. We are trying to save what's left of your kind." She led me back to the room, her movements tense and slow. For the first time, I noticed her trembling hands. "Tell me the truth," I said. "No more lies." Lira hesitated, then sat across from me, her fingers folding tightly in her lap. "The explosion you remember wasn't an accident. It was part of the collapse, the end of your world. Your ship was one of the last to escape orbit before the atmosphere broke down. You died in that explosion, Commander Hale." "I died." "Technically," she said quietly. We recovered what was left of you, your consciousness, and preserved it inside this construct. A hybrid form. My breath caught. A hybrid. She looked away. Part human. Part of our kind. I was assigned to integrate your neural patterns into the new host body. You were never supposed to wake until the process was complete. Her voice trembled on the last word. So I'm not me anymore. You are. But also more than that. Her eyes shimmered as if tears fought to surface. I didn't want you to find out this way. I tried to keep you asleep until it was stable. But your mind is strong. Too strong. The walls seemed to close in. Why didn't you just tell me? Because I wasn't supposed to feel this, she whispered. We were ordered to erase your emotional core, to make you easier to control. But I couldn't. I couldn't destroy what made you human. I stared at her. You disobeyed them for me? Her lips trembled. For what we created together. The alarms began before I could respond. A low siren echoed through the corridor, followed by a voice that spoke in that layered alien tongue. Lira's face drained of color. They know, she breathed. They've discovered your awakening. What do we do? She turned to me with fierce determination. You have to run. I can't even leave this room. You can now. She pressed her palm against the wall. A section shimmered, dissolving into a hidden doorway. Follow the lights. They'll lead you to the escape vessel. What about you? Her eyes softened. My place is here. If I leave, they'll hunt us both. But if I stay, I can buy you time. I grabbed her hand. Lira, come with me. She smiled faintly. You gave me something my kind forgot long ago, compassion. Let me repay that. The door began to close, light flickering behind it. Her final words echoed as I stepped through the passage. Live, Commander. And remember who you are. The escape pod launched into the void, engines roaring. Through the viewport, I saw the facility, a colossal structure shaped like a silver blossom, fade into darkness. In my chest, my heart, whatever it was now, beat stronger than it ever had. I didn't know where I was heading or what kind of being I'd become. But I knew this. Humanity hadn't died. It had simply evolved. And somewhere beneath the endless stars, an alien nurse had given it a second chance. The escape pod shuddered as it tore through the thin veil of the station's outer shield. Stars stretched like silver threads across the void, and for the first time since waking, I felt something that resembled freedom. The navigation screen flickered to life, pulsing with symbols I barely understood. Somehow, instinct guided me. Memories that weren't entirely my own whispered directions. Lira had given me access, maybe even more than I realized. Behind me, a faint explosion bloomed in the distance. The alien facility, her home, my prison, was unraveling. She must have triggered it. My throat tightened as I watched the light fade. She'd stayed behind so I could live. Lira, I whispered into the static-filled comms. I'll find a way back. But there was only silence. I sat back, staring at my hands, human in shape, yet faintly luminescent beneath the skin. I could feel the hum of energy running through my veins. Not just human anymore. And maybe that was the point. Lira hadn't just saved me. She'd merged two species that had spent eons apart. I was living proof that we didn't have to destroy each other to survive. That connection, empathy, and sacrifice could bridge galaxies. As the stars drew closer, the pod's computer locked onto a distant signal, human frequency. My chest ached at the sound. Maybe there were others like me,